Live from the Washington, D.C. area, it's the Inside Scoop, Emerald Planet. All the ecology news that our viewers want to know. Now, here's your host, Executive Director of the Emerald Planet, Dr. Sam Lee Hancock.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of Emerald Planet TV. We're coming to you live from Dar-es-Salaam in Tanzania, a very beautiful, large country that's on the move as we go through the 21st century. And I have sitting right beside me is Kamala-Mushala. She is the founder and president of SHINA, Inc., both of the United States and Tanzania. Jessica, welcome to the Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you for having us in this show.
Well, what you're doing here in Tanzania is absolutely fantastic. And I've had a chance to travel with you through a number of different communities throughout the country. But let's start off, what is SHINA, Inc.?
SHINA Inc. is an organization basically registered to empower women, youth, and children all over the world. We focus more on the most vulnerable groups because they're the ones who need more our help.
Now, looking at SHINA itself, that is an acronym. What does actually SHINA stand for?
When we are trying to identify the name, SHINA stands for a big tree, a trunk. In Swahili, it means though, S for send, hope, inspire, knowledge, utilizing accumulated knowledge and skills. We believe it takes a village to raise a child.
That's absolutely fantastic. And thank you for having us here with you in Tanzania. Now, looking at some of the different communities that we've traveled through, even though most people may not be familiar with some of these communities that are watching us both in the United States and around the globe, just give us a flavor of some of the different communities we're in, and then maybe a little short description of 2 or 3 of those, just to give us an idea of the difference between them.
When we picked up the communities to help for this particular trip, we thought we should mix both and visit all the areas where we are working. So we started in Pemba. Pemba is an island of Tanzania, United Republic of Tanzania, and it's 99.99% Muslim community. Our women there, and special needs children, they really need our help. And after that, we traveled to Unguja, another island of Zanzibar. And we went to Makunduchi, where in both islands, we are supporting a lot of women in their projects of gardening, chicken cool, school fees, orphans. And it touched us to see how far we have come with them. And from there, we decided to visit the city, where you can see the people, the vast growth, and the questions, and the economy, and social media. It was a different take, but yet our women and youth, they need the knowledge we have.
That's in Dar-es-Salaam.
That is in Dar-es-Salaam, the capital city, currently the commercial city. The capital city of Tanzania is actually Dodoma. From there, we went to Kisarawe. Kisarawe, we were dealing more with the vulnerable children and street children in a sense. That was really touching because they have nothing. You could see the hope in their eyes, and they are depending on us as Tanzanians outside of Tanzania to kind of be the voice. From there, then we went to look at the school system, which was in Kiba. We picked Gift School for secondary school for a purpose. The school is upcoming. The owners, they run it according to what we expect. And also they were lucky to have a youth from Washington metropolitan area in 2011 who visited the school, spent a night, sat in a classroom. That was an awesome experience for our youth in the United States. Then we flew to Mwanza. Mwanza is near Lake Victoria. We have a special early education program called ITICA, Early Learning Center in Ilemela district. We were able also to visit and have a chance to talk to the community members and the children. The next day, here we come. We came to Kagera. In Kagera region is the area, unfortunately, we just experienced the earthquake in, 5.7 magnitude, not a long time ago. So most of our projects are more here in Kagera.
Now, looking at all these different communities, there's a great variety because I've had a chance to witness those. And your primary focus, of course, is the women, the youth, and orphans, and, of course, some of the elderly. Why did you select those different categories of individuals specifically?
Women rights, they differ from country to country. We are a little bit behind, and we wanted to make sure the girl-child education is emphasized, but also the women understand their rights, and this could be access to education, health care, political leadership. But it's going to take another woman to look them in the eye and say, yes, you can do it.
Now, looking at the areas Pemba and Zanzibar, predominantly the Muslims, and then you have, it's a mix throughout the rest of the country. So why did you select those different areas, which are quite different than on the mainland in Tanzania, and maybe some of the impact that you believe you're having there?
Actually, they found us. We didn't find them. You look at the grassroots level, what will be the major impact you can have on any community. And if you want to have any impact, you have to involve women. So if I take to our brothers and sisters in Pemba, culturally, you have to be able to reach them on their level. And you cannot reach a woman without involving an opposite gender. So gender issues became very important.
Looking at the gender aspects of this, one of the things that we've talked about actually in the United States before we even come over, that the real development happening on the African continent, much of that, particularly in the small business area, is focused on females. Why is that the case?
Number one, females are very, very aggressive. They are the one who takes care of the family. So if you take an example of Pemba or Unguja, the gardening really saved their life. They could produce the food to feed their family, at the same time have access to sell in the market, which generated cash, and they can support each other. SHINA does not give a loan. It gives a grant, and they ask the community to pay it forward. That has made a big, big difference.
Yeah, this is something I was just amazed because most of your international NGOs, and you're definitely in international NGOs, provide extensive amount of money in many cases to the local communities, or they're paying for the activities, paying for the staff. But you operate on a very different process and a very different focus. Tell us about volunteerism and SHINA Inc.
SHINA Inc. does not have any overhead. So we look at the community. We have to find someone who believes in our vision and ask them to volunteer. Because for us, we don't receive any grants so far. We use our own money and our friends to bring the help. And we want 97% to 100% to go direct to the grassroots level. The advantage we have, we don't go to any community without understanding their culture. You cannot give help if you don't take time to understand what makes people tick.
Now, looking at this, people would be amazed to think that you have all volunteers that are working in these various communities, and you have an extensive now number of communities that you're working with. How do you find all of these volunteers?
You will be so surprised. It does not take that much to find someone crying for help, to find someone asking, can you bring this to us? So those who are a little bit able, they are willing to do anything so that as a community, they can move upward together. It's, in a way, that shows you the passion they have for the development of their communities.
Now, this is really true, but I've met many of these volunteers that you have. They're extremely dedicated, very energetic, and they have complete faith in what SHINA Inc. is doing here, and also their commitment to their own communities. How do you think you're able to identify, and it seems to be universal across all of your volunteers, how do you identify people that passionate and they're willing to give so much of their time when they still have their own families, their own commitments within their communities, their community of faith? How do you think that happens?
So you have to understand the culture, what makes an African stand up and sing and dance. it does not mean we didn't face any challenges. The challenges were there, and if we faced any challenge where we felt the volunteer was not doing what they're supposed to do, we had no problem saying it's not working out, it's not benefiting the community, and we part our ways and we are still friends. However, what drives them, those who stayed with us, is because they know when you touch one family, you touch the community, including their community. And for that, they don't survive as an island. They survive as a net, together as a community.
That's fantastic. Now, looking at the benefits, and this is something that I've actually chatted with some of these about, but what do you see happening to your volunteers as far as their personal growth, maybe even professional activities and professional skills they're gaining by being part of SHINA Inc.?
Most of our volunteers gain a lot through the exposure, the training, and part of it, knowing that when they meet volunteers from the United States, we are able to open the doors for them. And what they do with that door then is up to them. But our efforts want to be contagious to others to volunteer, because once you do that, then likelihood of having a success program is more than 98%. That has been the motto for the theme, that we together we make a difference, because it takes more than one person. What I know is not what you know, but together we can open the doors and bring skills, bring technology, bring different ideas of how we can improve our lives economically, socially, together with cultural power.
Now, looking at the schools, I know this is something you're focused on, both the primary schools and then also the middle and high schools. Why are you looking at the schools as one of those sources of groups of people that you want to deal with and to provide the services through SHINA Inc.?
When you look at the girl child education, or access to anything else for that matter, you are not going to improve our life unless you focus on education. But not just education only. We want to instigate, we want to activate, we want to be proactive on science area. That makes a big difference, and we have to start on educating so we can eradicate the poverty and disease. You cannot do any of that without educating people first.
Well, looking at the education, this is something that you and I have talked about in the past, is that some of the education you're doing really is to reach the adults, their immediate family, extended family. How do you think some of the education and training that you've done through SHINA Inc. actually goes up, from the children to the adults and is really helping in the communities?
Wow, let's look at the women's seminars and training, which we conduct every summer when we come. You have to understand the environment we are operating in. If you gather 150 women and you have a particular topic, whether it be HIV prevention, whether it be prevention of domestic violence, whether it be access to health, you reach more people, more family, because they are passionate. A mother, a woman are the ones who build the family in most of the African cultures. They might not be the head of the family, but they are the pillar of the family, because without the pillar, the house cannot stand.
Looking at all the work that you've been doing across Tanzania, it's absolutely fantastic. The communities that you're serving, the people that you're reaching, and all of the new projects and programs that you're planning. So just share with our domestic and international viewers a few of the plans or where you see SHINA Inc. being over the next 5, 10, or 15 years.
I see SHINA Inc. in the next 5 to 10 years reaching more regions, reaching more people, population we serve, making a difference in many lives. It is the dream that any best practices and every Tanzanian should be able to get it, as long as SHINA Inc. is involved.
Now, looking at the work that you're doing, what are you gaining from this experience? And we have just a few seconds to do.
With someone with my background, when you come from a humble background, you want to touch many lives. I feel complete. I feel valued, and I feel I've contributed to the development of my community.
If you had any one word to share with a young woman out there that may want to have the next SHINA Inc., what would you suggest?
I would say do not give up, have hope and be encouraging to each other. That's the only way we can make the next step.
So looking at that, this next step, going beyond all the work that you're doing, is what would be the one word you would like to share?
Access, access, access. If you're not on the menu, you're not on the table.
And thank you for being with us as we create the Emerald Planet.
Art, a universal language, an expression of culture, of self. And now, thanks to Empowered Women International, a way for emerging and established immigrant and refugee artists and artisans to find hope to earn a living while enriching the lives of all of us. Empowered Women International, making a better America every day. For more information on Empowered Women International's educational programs, or to make a tax-free donation, contact cfrip@aol.com.
Tell which kids have trouble with their eyesight. But that's not always the case. Even though 1 in 4 children may have a vision problem, eye doctors tell us the symptoms aren't always so obvious. We do know that 80% of all childhood learning is visual. And without good vision, kids can have trouble learning to read and may fall behind in school. For clues on how to spot the real-life signs of childhood vision problems and what parents can do, visit checkyearly.com. A public service message from the Vision Council of America and Reading is Fundamental.
We're back to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock, the President and Executive Director of Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We're coming to you live from Dar-es-Salaam in Tanzania, a beautiful country in East Africa. And I have with me Amos Mushala, who has the very interesting and intriguing title of Patron of SHINA Inc., both of the United States and Tanzania. Welcome to the Emerald Planet TV, Amos.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hancock. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. What's the title of Patron? Share that for us about what that means, and then tell us a little bit about SHINA Inc. from your perspective.
From my perspective on what is SHINA Inc. SHINA Inc. is a strong group trying to help the most vulnerable, those that cannot be reached by the big organizations. We are a small organization, but we are able to go to the grassroots level. Me being as a patron, I act as the overseer to see which one I can approve that we can be able to go to or we cannot be able to handle. When something is too big of a project, I either decide yes or no, point blank. I just oversee it, make sure the fund go right to the way it needs to go.
You really have a very interesting perspective on this. You do have a very progressive organization. You're reaching into many communities. How do you select the communities that you want to reach and to serve within the country of Tanzania?
Actually, it's unique. We don't select. Actually, they're selecting us, but then it comes back to me to look over, can we be able to handle that situation? But we don't accept application within our organization. Within the community where we serve, people, they either ask, we come and look, and if we're able to do it, we just dive into it. It's the individual, the community that approaches, and then we just look at that avenue. That's all we can do.
Now, looking at that perspective, as far as the people are finding you, how do people know that SHINA Inc. exists in Tanzania and that you're here actually to serve in these, as I would think, more rural or remote areas?
If you're an engineer, you can recall when you want to talk to someone, you send a signal. So our signal are those people that we have reached. Those people that we have reached, they spread the word. Not advertising, but then they show what SHINA has done for them or what we have helped within the community, what we have done in that community. So by the word being spread out, that's how we are able to be reached or be known.
Some of the communities you've worked in, I've had a chance to visit with you. It's very intriguing, the work that you're doing. People obviously are benefiting. They're very excited about the services and the outreach effort that SHINA is providing. So looking at the people, how do you actually reach and touch these different people in these communities and to excite them, but at the same time to keep them excited about what you're doing?
We try to make it fun, at the same time educational. Once you educate that person, will be able to either live a better life, better themselves, better their life. So by them looking at us on a different level, and yes, we understand some of the vernacular language, but at the same time knowing we have some of the people on the ground level who understand what SHINA is about, and they spread the same thing to understand that we don't pay individuals. We just want them to understand by helping the human being will make themselves even better, or spread the word of love and understanding that we can all live under one earth.
Now, you have a very fascinating background yourself, is that you had a father that was a very strong influence in your life. He was very positive in his community, and it really propelled you when you went to the United States to achieve, keep achieving, but then be willing to give back. And I must say the amount that you give back to the community within Tanzania is absolutely incredible. And I want to applaud you for doing that. What was some of the short wittisms, as I call it, that he shared with you as a young man that really has propelled you all these long years that you've been involved here through SHINA Inc. in Tanzania?
First and foremost, he told me never to forget where you came from. Even though I left this Tanzania a long time ago, I had that pull of coming back. Just visit. At the same time, you had the love of the people, and love of the family, love of the community. And he also said, aim high, and your failures will be a success. So every little thing that I think I've failed, but in a way, I've propelled further and further. So little things like that, but the love of the Father, and to say, beware of your human person beside you, be aware of your surrounding. Everybody is not going to like what you do, but at the same time, know what you want to do, know what you want to reach, and go for it.
Looking at the people that you're actually working with in these diverse communities, because you're in the islands like Pemba and Zanzibar, then on the mainland, many different communities that I've had the honor and privilege to travel with you. There's quite a bit of diversity as far as socioeconomic backgrounds, as far as the livelihoods within these different communities. Describe some of those for us and how you think that SHINA Inc. really fits in to helping these diverse communities to shape themselves, but actually become even more successful in the future.
Being that my father was an educator, education was the foremost thing. Once you have the education and understanding what's your surrounding, I think you'll be able to understand the love of the people and enjoy the life. Without, when we're reaching these individuals, is looking at what they have. They don't have much, but then simplicity. Sometimes we have to go back. Living is simple. You can go a long way. But in America, we have so much things that thrown at us or given to us, now working for it, but sometimes you find yourself lost because you're so inundated with so much stuff, you don't know where to go. You get confused. But within the simplicity of the African culture, the life within the African family, simple but happy. And we are able to reach diversity Pemba, Zanzibar, because once you travel there and see they're happy to see you, and you are giving just a minute what you can afford or what you can just afford to give out. And they're very happy, and they pray for you that you continue to do the same to others and grow to even reach other communities. So that makes me a lot satisfied within the heart.
Looking at the benefits that you have, much of that would be intangible. Yet, at the same time, you have the special energy, the special zeal. I've seen you interact with, teachers at the school and turn right around and have a very different interaction, but very personal, very warm with the students. And then we'll go to another community. It may be a health center. It could be some other kind of operation. But each of those, you have this special spark, this special energy. Where do you think that comes from? The fact of coming back home to Tanzania? Or again, is this the manifestation of the spirit of your father, or a combination of those?
In actuality, I think is my father's spirit. Because when we were young, he made sure that, or he pinpointed me to make sure that education was the foremost. At the same time, when you see someone happy, you see a kid very happy within time, you want to help further their education or further in life so they could look the future, not giving up on life or not giving them, there's no much help for them. But when I see or when we see kids progress, they try the best they can, we are satisfied also.
Looking at the long-term growth and expansion of SHINA Inc., you're saying that people are coming to you, they're providing the request, to be involved with you. What are some of the things, now that you have a number of established relationships around Tanzania, and what are you maybe looking for in the future? Any particular type of community, or again, you just want to leave it open and let people express their needs and then determine how to best assist or support?
Well, from learning from my friends and like Emerald Planet, best practices, but then we wait for that particular. We're not choosing, it's coming to us and we look at what we can, our ability to help. So we leave it open. But then we get more demands. Sometimes we tend to want to cut back. But then you say, what happens to those that I've helped? Maybe they'll come back to us. We have seen those that we have helped, and they're doing much, much better than they were before. But sometimes it's kind of hard to just let go. But you just leave it open, and hopefully God will lead us to better avenues by meeting friends in America like you, like Pulcra Chemicals, and we'll see where we go from there. But it's in God's will.
Well, looking at that, and we're getting towards the end of this, and thank you for being with us, Amos. This has really been a fantastic experience being with you in Tanzania. You're doing wonderful work. Looking at over the next 5, 10, and 15 years, what are some of the ways that you would like to reach out, or maybe your own personal commitment, growth that you would get out of it by working in more communities?
It's still going to be the same. Children, seeing them progress in their education. I'm falling back to my father and my wife, what we've been through. Education will lead. It's like teaching a person to fish, and they'll survive a long time. But now we want to reach the kids to appreciate education, appreciate what they're surrounding, and appreciate life. All in all, just the love of the people.
Amos, thank you for being with us, and thank you as we look around the globe as we create the Emerald Planet.
This is firstgov.gov, where we're obsessed with getting you government information.
Brand new student loan applications on the site, baby. This calls for a celebration. Here's your uncle.
So in the end, it was either take the astronaut gig or come work here. What can I say? Duty called.
Dude, that's my cop.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's Sam's cop.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No. Sam's. No.
Just log on or email us and get what you need.
C, change of address form. That's how it's done. D, driver's license renewal.
E, emailing Social Security information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice, we'll allow it. All right, What are those?
Government surplus cars for auction.
You posted those online last time.
No, you did.
I'm posting them online this time!
For all your government information, firstgov.gov.
Oh, what have we got here? Sometimes you feel tired. You can't seem to lose those extra pounds off your midsection. And your joints hurt when you take the stairs. Well, you're getting older. But I'm happy to say that there's some simple things we can do to keep you happy and healthy for years to come. We can also lower your risk for some serious diseases the older population is often subject to. Proper nutrition is more important than ever. Your body has changed, you know. Not as many treats. A basic exercise plan, lots of walks and fresh air, and most importantly, come and see me for twice yearly checkups to help ensure the best possible quality of life. Now, how does that sound? Good boy.
Improve the quality of life for your elderly pet. Schedule twice yearly checkups that include preventive care and regular lab work. A message from the veterinary members of the American Animal Hospital Association.
We're back to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock, the President and Executive Director of Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We're coming to you live from Dar-es-Salaam in Tanzania, a very big, large, and wonderful country that is on the move as we move through the 21st century. And I have a gentleman sitting right beside me that I've had a chance to get to know over the last couple years, Hermas Malingumu. And he is the regional coordinator for SHINA Inc. within the western part of the country. Welcome to the Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you very much.
You have a tremendous energy that you're doing and the work that you're doing with SHINA Inc. But tell us, what is your understanding of the mission and the goal of SHINA Inc.?
The SHINA Inc. is a wonderful organization which is not non-profitable. Of course, I'm a coordinator in this region in Tanzania at the Kagera part. I'm coordinating the different projects of SHINA Inc. It's like groups of choirs. I spread the components which SHINA Inc. provided to other people. And I build the churches. Sometimes I use as a technician of SHINA Inc. And that time also, a lot of things from SHINA Inc. They use me to coordinate different projects.
Now, looking at these different projects, I know one of the areas that you excel in, of course, are these different choirs that you have. Tell us about the choirs. Why are you focusing on music? Because this is just the very nature of Tanzanians and people from this whole western section of Tanzania itself. So why are you working and have that special focus on choirs? And then we'll talk about maybe some of the other projects that you've been doing.
Of course, the choir, it's something which relaxes your mind. You know, I'm a technician by profession. So the whole time we work hard. So during the choir rehearsal, sometimes it relaxes your mind. And at the same time, you save loud our God for singing, the preaching, the word of God. it's of course it's the choir. Even in the evening, we just have one work in the evening. We will sing there. So if I convince you to sing, please.
Well, actually, you did. The times I've been with you, we always end up having a chance to sing with you. But looking at it, Tanzania is a very diverse country as far as the people that live here. Great diversity as far as religions. And I know that you're very inclusive to make sure that everyone feels welcome. So in a nation as large as Tanzania and as diverse, how do you bring all of these people together so that they feel like that they belong, they're of, one people, one nation, and that they're actually contributing to the society?
Of course, when God created a people, He created one body. So many people they understand that we are one in Christ. Of course, in that time or the reason, so we work together, we coordinate, and this is our work to bring together the all people to make one nation, to make one region, to make a district, and also, of course, in the family.
Well, looking at your work as a technician, Tanzania, as I have been coming into East Africa specifically for a number of years, and now this is my second year coming back into Tanzania, there's been great change as far as the economy and even the environment itself. So looking at your background as a technician, what do you see as the changes as far as the society of Tanzania from the technical and maybe the economic aspects?
Of course, it's a big challenge. Myself, I can say that it's a big challenge, but we have to work with that situation, because when we communicate, we community Tanzania, Rwanda, and Kenya, they are different culture, but in that way, still we are Africans, so we can afford to communicate together. We can exchange ideas. As you know, we are working hard in Africa, all of us.
You brought up some really good ideas. So let's think about these things. So you're seeing the changes in Tanzania and, of course, the surrounding countries within this area. What's some of the common changes that you're seeing, not only within Tanzania and its own diversity, but say Kenya and other countries in this area? What commonality are you seeing happening in this area of Africa?
Myself, when I focus, I don't think there is a lot of of changes. Of course, there is the changes, but we still looking forward. When somebody come or you communicate together, you can face a lot of changes. But in that time, from that changes, and then you can change also your mind, then you can move away or continue forward.
Moving forward. Now, looking at your technical background and the new generation that's coming forward, whether they're in Tanzania or somewhere in Western Europe or North America, technology is really becoming the core. The information technology, computing, the internet, all these things. What are you seeing from the technical aspects of the younger generations in Tanzania?
Even if the technology is coming, computer and the difference, but we are looking in our culture. We are looking at our culture, so that can afford us to continue in the different works on. Don't think you understand me. Yeah, so we can afford to continue, but we're still focusing our culture. We don't like to to host our culture. So even if there is the challenges, but we still focus our culture and motivate them. We can, yeah.
I think that's an excellent answer, actually. And looking at that, and you actually answered it the way that I thought you were going to answer it, is that even though there's great changes coming across all 54 nations of Africa, there's still this anchor that you have in the culture, which is very deep and very rich. So looking at that richness and that the depth of this culture, what are some of the things that the young people here, and this is leading to best practices, what are some of the things in that culture that they need to hold near and dear so that they can feel more comfortable facing change from technology and many other peoples coming into the African continent?
Of course, now we have a big problem according to the changes of cultures, because now we are communicating like you. Now you are American, but you are coming Tanzania. So we try to teach our youth and our children that they don't lose their culture. Of course, our culture, it's what can I say? It's reliable. Like we can dig, we can we have cows or dogs or goats and different projects which we can afford for us, our children. They can continue, because I don't think even all of us, this is Africa. No, we can take that everyone know to use the computers or new technologies, but it's coming, it's well. That's the good. But we still focus that challenges in our cultures. Then we can afford to stay or to work or whatever, and they don't want to stay in our countries.
Well, I like that answer as well. And I like your terminology, afford, which means it allows you, it gives you that comfort to be able to do that. Now, going back to SHINA Inc., you're very active in SHINA Inc. You've been working with the choirs, other different types of projects. What do you see SHINA Inc. going in this area, the western region of Tanzania, say over the next 5 or 10 years?
We are looking for the SHINA Inc. to continue for help us. SHINA Inc. is working, and especially in this region, because I understand that region, because I'm a coordinator of this region. SHINA Inc. is bringing different groups to American. SHINA Inc. supports that group to bring money to circuses. SHINA Inc. help the lot of many groups of the choir. So we are looking SHINA Inc. that they shouldn't give up. There is the challenges when they help the different groups, like choirs or women groups. Of course, we are facing a lot of challenges, but we still continue. And we ask SHINA Inc. to continue, and that will help that groups and women also. So God will help them also. He will touch them in different ways.
Well, thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing about SHINA Inc. And thank you for being with us as we look around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.
Call 1-800-FIGHT-MS. This is why we're here. Because nobody dreams of having multiple sclerosis.
What's wrong with this picture? Half of young Americans can't locate economic powers like Japan and India. 20% can't even find the Pacific Ocean. Without geography, our children aren't ready for the world. Geography is everywhere. It's incredible creatures, rhythm, fashion, flavor, It's economics and politics. It's change. Understanding connections between people and places is critical in the 21st century. That's why we created mywonderfulworld.org. Go there now for your free parent and teacher action kits and give our kids the power of global knowledge. Because kids who understand our world today can succeed in it tomorrow.
To the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock, President and Executive Director of Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We're coming to you live from Dar-es-Salaam in Tanzania, a country that's definitely on the move, on a continent of 54 nations that is certainly on the move. And I have a gentleman sitting right beside me, Troy Massey of Pulcra Chemicals of Rock Hill, South Carolina. And he's here with SHINA Inc. looking at the Skintex MR3 special blanket and the way that it can actually assist to reduce the death rate among infants and also to decrease the amount of absenteeism from people missing work for malaria. So I explained all that, Troy, just to say welcome to Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you very much.
Now, I understand this is your first time on the African continent. Tell us a little bit about why Pulcra Chemicals wants to be actually on the African continent.
Basically, we want to give back to the community, whether it's the community around our offices in Rock Hill or whether it's a global community.
Now, looking at Pulcra Chemicals, give us a little background because I understand that you're actually one of the creators and helped to evolve the technology of this special material, Skintex MR3. So tell us a little bit about Pulcra Chemicals and why would it actually get into a very new technology?
Well, Pulcra Chemicals is a global chemical company that supplies textile chemicals around the globe. In the U.S., we're located in Rock Hill, South Carolina, but we are globally headquartered in Germany, and we have affiliates in 14 different countries. As far as the Skintex MR3 blanket goes, I was one of the people responsible for developing the products that go into the blanket. We developed that some 10 years ago, and basically, you know, we were looking at it from a humanitarian point of view, to help people. The blanket is a very, very good tool to get out to people that may not have a bed net or may not have a place to hang a bed net. It's just a general tool that everybody, no matter where they're at, can use.
Now, looking at the disease called malaria, this is something that's actually one of the number one killers, and maybe the number one killer across the whole globe. And it's something that really hits the people in Tanzania, but across the other 53 nations. Tell us a little bit about malaria. What's so insidious about this disease, and how that you're really, through a very simple tool, we're calling it a blanket, is able to address something that's been here for millennia, and it's still here.
That's correct. It's still here. Malaria is a nasty disease. It affects millions of people annually and kills hundreds of thousands annually, not only in Africa but around the globe. Obviously, it is spread by the mosquito, the most deadly animal on the planet. And one of the ways that we combat the disease with the blanket is that the blanket itself repels mosquitoes. So when a person is using the blanket, whether they've got it wrapped around them outside at the picnic table or they're sleeping with the blanket on the bed, it's constantly working. It's constantly repelling the mosquitoes that carry the malaria.
Now, you know, in North America, of course, you know, we have mosquitoes. They're everywhere. And in the United States, specifically Canada, really not worried about malaria. but why is malaria such a scourge in a country like Tanzania?
Basically because it affects so many people, not only from a health standpoint, but from a financial standpoint. When a person that is prominent in the family contracts malaria, they may be out of work or may be down. From a financial standpoint, it's very burdening. From a health standpoint, obviously, it can kill a person, it can kill families, or it can kill children, which is even worse.
Now, we understand the statistics from the WHO, the World Health Organization, which is part of the United Nations, is that there's a child that dies literally every 60 seconds on the African continent from malaria. Why is it so many children dying on the African continent from malaria?
Basically, children in Africa are easily exposed. I mean, they're outside all the time. In the homes in Africa, most of them don't have nets or windows that have screens on them. I mean, so mosquitoes can just fly in and out of the house. Children, they're very susceptible because they don't know what a mosquito is. They don't have any means to combat the mosquito. And the blanket is a way for them to do just that, combat the mosquito and help prevent malaria.
Now, you have full EPA, United States Environmental Protection Agency registration. You exceed all of the requirements as far as WHO, the World Health Organization. Tell us a little bit about, and you can take a couple of minutes to do this, but tell us the unique nature of the blanket, the material itself, and also the encapsulated permethrin that's within it.
Yeah, basically the blanket, the fabric itself is a non-woven fabric. It is very, very rugged. It is not easily torn. It's going to last a very long time. It's a fabric that is made for the outdoors, or made for use in the African continent where, they may not have the commodities that we do in the USA. As far as the treatment goes, Skintex MR3 is a microencapsulated permethrin product. It's very safe. It is the only insecticidal repellent that is approved by the EPA and the WHO to be used on textiles other than bed nets. It can be used on blankets. It can be used on clothing, whether it's a shirt, pants, whatever. It can be used on all of these things. It's unlike the chemicals that are used in the bed nets of today, where they are much, much more toxic and basically are not safe to be used on clothing or blankets that have skin contact. That's the key difference.
Now, looking at bed nets, this is something, of course, have been used for many years, and people continue to, NGOs continue to bring bed nets to the African continent, spread these around in different countries. But my understanding is that bed nets really are not that widely used, and most people actually don't even like them. So tell us, what is some of the research that you've come across over these years, one, to move away from bed nets, and secondly, to develop a blanket that's really a next generation?
Yeah, the bed nets that are used today, they're used for many other reasons other than protection in the bed. They're used as fishing nets. They can be used as just general fabric outside the home to carry things in, instead of actually protecting the person while they sleep. The bed nets are given out in millions and millions and millions around the African continent, around the globe. And the basic reason is they're cheap, and this is what everybody knows. It's a very old technology that definitely needs to be improved upon, and the blanket itself, whether it's inside the home on a bed or either outside the home, it's a tool that anybody can use, whether they have a bed net or even a bed to hang a bed net from. It's very simple, very common. Anybody can use it. It's just a very basic tool to help the prevention of malaria.
You're here actually traveling with the representatives of SHINA Inc., in Tanzania itself. Tell us what led you to select SHINA Inc. For this donation, and tell us a little bit about the donation and the title that you have for that within Pulcra Chemicals itself.
Yeah, the title we have is Social Solutions. It's basically a title that means we're giving back to the global community, or either the community around our offices back in Rock Hill. Social Solutions came to be from our CEO. It's a term that means a lot to us. We do give back a lot in our communities, but to do that on a global scale is totally different. And we needed a partner to do that. We don't know, Tanzania, or we don't know people outside the U.S. that we could actually partner with. So we contacted Emerald Planet, and we also, was in contact with SHINA Inc., and they were a perfect fit. They are working with children inside Tanzania. They are working with families, schools, clinics, whatever it may be, and all of this is focused toward the family and to children. And you're right, you had said it earlier. A child under 5 dies every 60 seconds from malaria, and that's what we wanted to focus on. We wanted to give back to the families that stop that from happening. And SHINA Inc. was a perfect partner because they're already working with these families and children within Tanzania.
Looking at the donation, there was something unique about this donation as far as the mix of people that were involved. How did you select the people from within Pulcra Chemical, and why that particular focus?
Well, our focus just wanted to be about the kids. That's going to be the future. That's going to be future of not only the U.S. but whatever country they're growing up in. And when you have so many children dying of malaria every 60 seconds, it just made sense for us to partner with a company that's doing work in that region of the globe. Tanzania is perfect world for us to be able to donate the blankets. Approximately 1,100 blankets were donated, and every one of these are going to families that have children.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. Of course, you're talking again about, a child dies every 60 seconds on the African continent. I mean, it's just mind-boggling, to think about that whole thing. What do you see for the growth and expansion of Pulcra Chemical? We have to be quick as far as expanding the Skintex MR3 materials in Tanzania, around the globe.
We want to do all we can to prevent disease, insect-borne diseases around the globe, specifically in Africa and malaria. It is something that we strive to get as many blankets as we can out to the families in need. And working with people like Emerald Planet and SHINA, that's a way for us to do just that. It's a way for us to do all that we can to help the people of the world.
Well, Troy Massey of Pulcra Chemical and Skintex MR3, thank you for being with us on the Emerald Planet. And thank you, dear viewers, for being with us as we're in Tanzania, Dar-es-Salaam, as we look around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.